You take a control freak, and I always call myself a control freak, but in a nice way. When you take someone that likes to be in control and you put them in a situation which is out of their control, makes them feel very uncomfortable.
Nicola Peltz completely contradicted Brooklyn Beckham's claim that his mother pulled out of making her wedding dress at the 11th hour, forcing her to scramble to find something as if her dress was off the rack.
Victoria Beckham straight up admitted she's a total control freak, and wow, that label couldn't fit her more perfectly. When her son Brooklyn tied the knot with Nicola, it seems like Victoria completely lost her grip. Reports say she tried to derail their big day from messing with Nicola's wedding dress to straight up hijacking their first dance. Brooklyn later confessed it was one of the most embarrassing moments of his entire life. He said he'd never felt so uncomfortable, especially with over 500 guests watching as his mom took over the dance floor and danced all over him. It was chaos. But here's the real twist. Victoria might not even be the worst part of this whole drama. Nicola's got her own pile of messy baggage that keeps people talking. Coming from a family that's not just rich, but insanely rich, Nicola's been called cold, rude, and totally heartless, traits that people claim run deep in her family's reputation. Maybe that's why Victoria was so desperate to keep Brooklyn close and protect him from Nicola in the first place. And that tension, oh, it's impossible to miss. There's an actual clip where Brooklyn tries to pull Nicola into a family photo, but Victoria literally turns her back, refusing to even look at them. The awkward vibes are unreal. You can practically feel the frost in the air. One comment online nailed it perfectly. This family feud is colder than the British winter. Honestly, it's starting to look like Victoria might be a little jealous of Nicola, and yeah, it totally shows. Someone online even joked, even a billionaire's son can't escape boy-mom drama. And wow, that line hits hard because Brooklyn Beckham just dropped a statement that straight up called out his own family, especially his mom, Victoria Beckham. Things just got real. But like any messy family saga, there are always two sides to the story. So let's dig into what's really happening between Brooklyn, his wife Nicola, and his mom, Victoria. Now, when it comes to Victoria, that control freak label didn't just come out of thin air. She's been that way for years, long before the Brooklyn and Nicola wedding drama even kicked off. Victoria's reputation has always been intense. People have actually called her a monster-in-law. And get this, she's even admitted she's obsessed with control. That drive goes all the way back to her Spice Girls days when she ruled the world as Posh Spice, polished, serious, and always picture perfect. She worked hard to maintain that image, but deep down, it always seemed like she never felt completely comfortable with how people saw her. Then came her ultimate power move, marrying soccer icon David Beckham. Together, they built the Beckham empire, turning their last name into pure global gold. But behind all that fame and glam, things weren't as flawless as they looked. Even though they stood as the ultimate it couple, rumors say David's alleged affairs in the early 2000s threw their marriage into complete chaos. The perfect image started cracking, and Victoria's need for control only got stronger from there. Most couples would have fallen apart after a betrayal like that, but not Victoria. She clung on tight, proving once again that when it comes to control, she never lets go. So yeah, the rumors were real. David did cheat on Victoria, and the whole messy story blew up big time. It's all laid out in The House of Beckhams, a tell-all book by investigative journalist Tom Bauer, who completely spilled the tea on their private chaos. When Victoria found out about David's affairs, she didn't crumble. She transformed. Instead of breaking down, she went into full-on crisis control mode like a boss. Imagine catching your husband cheating and still running your family's image like it's a billion-dollar company. That's exactly what she did. Rather than walking away, Victoria doubled down, working overtime to scrub every trace of scandal and keep that perfect couple illusion spotless. She planned everything, smoothed over every rumor, and made sure the Beckham brand stayed untouchable. Her obsession with control literally saved their entire empire from collapsing. But here's where it gets interesting. Victoria's grip hasn't been as strong in recent years, and the biggest crack in her control, her son, Brooklyn, and he's always been a little different from the rest of the Beckham crew. More unpredictable, more emotional. But once he fell hard for Nicola, everything started shifting fast.
But the cherry on top of this diabolical way of Victoria is that she knows, and she's mad at the fact that she cannot manipulate and control this girl because this girl does not need the Beckhams. She's a beautiful, rich, talented girl that has her own name. And that's what bothers Victoria, that she cannot control this girl, and this girl doesn't give a fuck if Victoria cares about her or not.
Suddenly, Victoria couldn't call all the shots anymore, and that loss of control, it's what really started shaking the Beckham empire from the inside. The tension exploded to new heights, and not even Victoria's legendary control could hold the family together anymore. Let's shift to Nicola because she's way more than just an actress. She's an heiress too. You might have seen her in Transformers, Age of Extinction, or the hit series Bates Motel. But here's the real shocker. Nicola doesn't need Hollywood money at all. She was already born into serious wealth. Nicola comes from one of the richest families in the entire United States. So yeah, financial stress doesn't even exist in her world. And honestly, that probably sounded like a dream come true for Brooklyn. Growing up as a Beckham, luxury was his normal, and marrying Nicola meant he didn't have to give up an ounce of that lifestyle. Between her massive family fortune and his own famous background, this couple is practically set for life. Some reports even claim that Nicola's family fortune is 3 times bigger than the Beckhams, which is absolutely wild. And that might just explain why Victoria's been throwing shade from the start. The drama supposedly began with something deeply personal, Nicola's wedding dress. Victoria was originally supposed to design it herself, but at the very last minute, she allegedly backed out. Talk about a jaw-dropping move. Brooklyn later revealed that it spiraled into a total disaster. He claimed, "My parents have been trying endlessly to ruin my relationship since before my wedding, and it hasn't stopped." He even said, "My mom canceled making Nicola's dress in the 11th hour despite how excited she was to wear her design, which forced Nicola to scramble and find another dress right before the wedding." The chaos behind the scenes, unreal. That's seriously intense. No wonder so many people think Victoria felt threatened, not just by Nicola's insane wealth, but by how easily she seemed to pull Brooklyn's attention away. Most moms would be thrilled to see their son getting married, right? But Victoria? She apparently had other ideas. The fact that she was allegedly playing games with Nicola's wedding dress says everything. According to one insider, when Nicola and Brooklyn first got engaged, Victoria sweetly offered to design Nicola's wedding dress, and Nicola was over the moon about it. She said it would be an absolute honor to wear one of Victoria's original designs. It sounded like such a touching, picture-perfect moment between soon-to-be in-laws. But as the big day started creeping closer, everything took a sharp and shady turn. Nicola began noticing weird delays, mixed signals, and a sudden shift in tone. Like her dream dress just wasn't at the top of Victoria's list anymore.
Apparently Nicola was gonna have a dress designed by Victoria, but last minute Victoria decided not to do it. And I honestly think the reason that Victoria did that is because at the end of the day, Victoria and David Beckham did not want Brooklyn to marry Nicola, and they were looking out for their son. I have seen stories of Nicola Peltz's family, what happened with the wedding planner, what's happened with nannies. And so I believe that David and Victoria were looking out for their son, have always been looking out for their son.
The closer the wedding got, the more people started whispering that the dress might not even be finished in time. Then came the real bombshell. Instead of calling Nicola directly, Victoria reportedly rang up Nicola's mother and said, "Hey, I'm not gonna be making that dress anymore." Just like that. No heads up. No private talk with Nicola herself. That move stunned everyone. And to make things worse, Nicola ended up being painted by the media as some kind of spoiled diva for not wearing a Victoria Beckham dress at her own wedding. How's that for a plot twist? But here's where it gets even messier. Brooklyn's version of events might not totally line up with the truth. The drama behind that gown might be way deeper than anyone thought. In a resurfaced Vogue interview, bridal stylist Leslie dropped a surprising truth bomb. Nicola's final gown, that jaw-dropping custom Valentino masterpiece, had actually been a year in the making. The feature, published back in April 2022, revealed that the stunning design came together after months and months of close planning with one of Valentino's top creative directors. So maybe this so-called fashion feud isn't as simple as it looked. It might have been brewing way longer than anyone realized. According to Vogue, Nicola had already been in deep talks with the Valentino team for over a year to create her dream gown. Totally custom, totally exclusive. That's where the big question hits. If Nicola was already locked in with Valentino, why would she be stressing about Victoria's design at all? Seems like the timelines just don't match up. The article even quoted Nicola saying it was a no-brainer to go with Valentino for her wedding look, which definitely says a lot. It kind of makes it sound like Victoria Beckham was never truly part of the final plan to begin with. So maybe that dress drama wasn't exactly betrayal. It could have just been miscommunication blown way out of proportion. Here's what might have really happened. Nicola wanted multiple dresses for her big day, which totally makes sense for a high-profile wedding. But when it came to timing, she and Victoria reportedly disagreed about when Victoria's dress would actually be worn. Instead of finding a middle ground, Victoria allegedly decided to pull her design out of the lineup completely. Talk about a power move that turned a fashion choice into full-on family drama. Sounds like Victoria didn't want her design showing up at a less important part of the event. And honestly, that tracks perfectly with her perfectionist reputation. So maybe both sides have a point. Nicola wasn't exactly ditched last minute, and Victoria still felt totally disrespected. Two truths can absolutely exist at the same time. But just when it seemed like the dress drama was finally cooling off, boom! Brooklyn dropped one of his wildest claims ever. He alleged that his mom hijacked his own wedding and even danced inappropriately all over him in front of everyone.
I've received endless attacks from my parents, both privately and publicly, that were sent to the press on their orders. Even my brothers were sent to attack me on social media before they ultimately blocked me out of nowhere this last summer. Now remember, his brothers said that he had actually blocked the entire family, so that is interesting to point out.
That's the kind of chaos you couldn't make up if you tried. And just when you think it can't get any more awkward, oh, it does. Here's where things took a shocking twist. Mark Anthony, one of the Beckhams' closest friends, had offered to perform at Brooklyn and Nicola's wedding as a special gift. Sounds sweet, right? But what actually went down on that stage became one of the most uncomfortable moments of the entire night. Right before his performance, Mark grabbed the mic and said, "The most beautiful woman in the room tonight, come on up." And guess who stood up? Victoria Beckham, not Nicola, Victoria. The entire room froze. According to insiders, Nicola was absolutely stunned, standing there in total disbelief as her big night suddenly shifted into something she didn't recognize. The crowd went silent. No laughs, no cheers, just pure shock. People couldn't believe Mark had called Victoria instead of the bride. Nicola reportedly felt like her wedding had been hijacked right in front of her eyes. It was such a jaw-dropping, icy moment that you could literally hear a pin drop in that packed, glittering room. Brooklyn later confirmed what everyone had been whispering about. He claimed his mom basically hijacked his first dance with Nicola. And that bombshell lined up perfectly with the wild reports that started flooding gossip sites, including one tip shared with the site Du Mois. According to the insider, Mark Anthony's performance that night made the entire room uncomfortable. They said Mark got up, performed, gave a whole speech, but never once mentioned Nicola or her family. Instead, he dedicated a song to Victoria and Brooklyn. Like, what? People were stunned. That moment was reportedly the breaking point. Nicola was so upset she ran out of the room in tears, and her family rushed out behind her. Brooklyn followed her outside, and the two stayed away from the reception for what felt like forever. The tension after that was unreal. Guests said the entire mood of the night flipped in seconds, from a fairy tale celebration to complete emotional chaos. What should have been the happiest day of their lives turned icy and awkward. And apparently, the only people who ended up giving speeches for Nicola that night were her acting coach and her stylist. That alone says everything about how strained things had gotten between the two families. But it didn't end there. Brooklyn later confessed that when his mom danced with him that night, it made him feel seriously uncomfortable. He said it was the most humiliating moment of his entire life. Can you even imagine that? Being at your own wedding, surrounded by hundreds of guests and feeling that level of awkwardness while everyone's watching? The energy must have been so tense you could practically feel it in the air. One comment online joked, "Show us the Beckham files, the wedding video." Another chimed in, "Release the wedding tapes." And honestly, people would pay serious money to see those videos just to find out what really went down that night. But underneath all the gossip and the memes, the truth is actually kind of heartbreaking. You can't help but feel for both Nicola and Brooklyn. It sounds like they got trapped in a family storm that spun completely out of control. This whole situation must have been draining. Imagine being stuck between loyalty to your family and the person you just married. It's a recipe for chaos. Some people online even called it borderline toxic parent behavior, and it's not hard to see why. The idea of 500 guests watching Victoria Beckham dance a little too closely with her son feels like something ripped straight out of a painfully awkward movie scene. Still, the internet being the internet, people turned that moment into an endless stream of memes and jokes about Victoria's now infamous dance at the Beckham wedding. Clips, edits, and reaction videos flooded social media for weeks. It became a full-blown viral moment. But here's the unexpected twist. Brooklyn later revealed that the wedding turned out so disastrous that he and Nicola actually decided to renew their vows. They wanted to create brand new memories, ones filled with happiness, laughter, and real love instead of anxiety and regret. And honestly, who could blame them? After all that tension and public drama, all they probably wanted was a chance to start fresh and finally celebrate their love without all the chaos. Maybe Nicola didn't fall far from the tree after all, because that same need for control sounds way too familiar. And get this, everything reportedly went down on Easter Sunday of all days. Can you even imagine? The household staff was allegedly being pushed to the edge, even on a holiday. Some reports claim things got so tense with Nicola's nannies that a few of them felt completely broken down, emotionally drained and defeated. That's honestly disturbing. It's no surprise people have started looking at Nicola with a side eye, especially with all the drama already surrounding her personal life. But the whispers go even deeper. Rumors say her family's business tactics are just as controversial. Allegedly, the Peltz family has a pattern. They invest in struggling companies, strip them down, rebuild them, and then flip them for a huge profit. It's a cold, calculated way to stack up cash, and it's earned them a very shady reputation in certain circles. But the most shocking rumor of them all? One report claimed that Nicola once had a heated moment with her longtime nanny, Maria, that allegedly ended with Maria being pushed down a flight of stairs. The story spread like wildfire across gossip sites, but Nicola's family immediately fired back, calling the claim completely false. Tragically, that same nanny has since passed away, though there's no confirmed link between her death and the rumored incident. Still, the entire situation left people rattled and asking what's really going on behind the walls of that massive Peltz mansion. If even a sliver of those claims were true, it would be absolutely terrifying.
The negative claims against the Peltz family have not only appeared in gossip columns, but also in New York courts. Two former drivers for the family sued Nicola Peltz and his company, claiming they were wrongfully fired. One after taking one nurse-mandated day off for a diabetes-induced blood sugar spike, and the other after hospitalization for a head injury at work.
But at this point, it's hard to know what's fact, what's fiction, and what's just another layer of the never-ending Beckham-Peltz drama. She'd sound downright devilish if even half those stories were true. Whether fact or rumor, the tales paint a dark, chilling picture of someone who might have way more in common with Victoria than anyone ever expected. It's crazy because the whole situation feels like serious déjà vu. Back when Victoria first stepped into the Beckham family, David's parents couldn't stand her either. They thought she was too flashy, too different, too much. Victoria had to fight hard to earn her place, just like Nicola seems to be doing right now. It's wild how the same family tension feels like it's playing out all over again. Only this time, Victoria's the one on the opposite side of it. The tables have completely turned. One comment online summed it up perfectly. History repeats itself for sure. And another person added, so this is a generational curse maybe? And honestly, they might be onto something. The Beckham family really does seem caught in an endless loop of control, jealousy, and in-law drama. It's like no matter how much fame or money they've got, that family tension just keeps coming back around, louder every time. It really does feel like history repeating itself, doesn't it? What are the chances that the same kind of family drama would come crashing back around, just with the roles reversed?
They make mistakes. Children are allowed to make mistakes. That's how they learn. So that's what I try to teach my kids. But you have to sometimes let them make those mistakes as well.
Maybe this whole chaotic saga is a wake-up call for both Victoria and Nicola to finally face their own flaws and learn something from it all. Because let's be real, if Nicola's really been mistreating her staff, that's a serious problem that needs to be called out, no excuses. And if Victoria's truly been trying to sabotage her own son's wedding just to keep her grip on control, that's definitely not the move either. Both of these powerhouse women have some serious reflecting to do. They've built empires, crafted perfect public images, and ruled the spotlight for years, but behind the glitz, the cracks are starting to show. Now it's your turn to weigh in. What do you think? Is this just messy family drama on steroids, or are we actually watching a full-blown generational curse playing out in real time? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm dying to know how you see it. And hey, if you love deep dives like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment for more juicy stories just like this one.